We have entered troubled economic times, no question about it. The inflation is still quite high, and the rates are going up to try to curb the inflation. News about employment are getting worse and worse, and of course, super high energy prices, and it's not about to get any better. It's affecting your wallet, it's affecting my wallet. Our government are trying to put measures in place, but that's not going to be enough. So let's go have a look at a few tips we can take to immediately make a difference about our energy usage. Let's get started. Hello everyone, I'm Yoram from Economia, your destination for financial independence, tips to invest and spend wisely. Unless you've been living under a rock, you know that prices have been going nuts since the beginning of the year. The US is at 8.3%, Eurozone 9.1%, Japan 2.7%, and Singapore as plus 7%. That's the latest data. This is very, very high. And one of the main drivers of inflation is energy prices. They have been going up and up. And one of the biggest factors is obviously the war in Ukraine, with Russia being cut off from the global market, although it's a massive producer. And for information, Russia, before the war, was the world's largest natural gas exporter, and all of a sudden cut off. If you are living in Europe, it's even worse because Russian supplies of gas and oil represented 43% and 29% of the overall supply, respectively. If you are living in Germany, it's even worse because the figures are 49 and 34%. That's a big shock. And obviously, as all of this has dried up, the countries need to find alternate suppliers. And for energy prices, fossil fuels that we're talking about, usually the contracts are negotiated very long term, 10 years, 20 years. That's how it gets cheaper. Now they need to find whatever is still available. And this is the spot market. That's the way it's called. And this is very expensive. And you can see the results globally for the prices of oil increased 10% since the beginning of the year, which is still okay. But if you look at natural gas, this is plus 92% for this year. As a result, energy prices have been rising everywhere. In the US, it's plus 16%, the most in the past 40 years. In the UK, we are talking about plus 80%. In the Eurozone, we are talking about plus 30%, sorry. In Japan, plus 25%, with much more in the coming months as the cap put on by the government is going to be lifted. Situation is really tough. Tough to the point there's even a TV show in the UK where people can win enough money to cover their energy bill. You know how bad it is, and you've come to know about a few trips to try to save a bit of energy and a bit on your energy bill. So let's get started immediately. What can you do to try saving money on your energy bill? Before getting started, remember, I'm not a financial advisor or a professional about energy installation or home improvement. I'm just a guy on YouTube, and I'm giving you some information based on my research and my own opinion. So please, before doing anything, talk to a professional. This is just for information and entertainment purpose. Thank you. First thing first, windows. They're fantastic. You can look outside. It let the fresh air in. It's great. But in winter, if you're trying to keep the cold outside, I should say, and the warmth inside, keeping warm overall, windows can be your enemy. If you don't have a double pane window, or if there's a little crack and a little bit of draft, you can waste a lot of energy for nothing. So, first thing, very easy, a weather strap. You can see one here on screen, and we use them here when I'm located in Japan. Simple strip that are putting around the window and can avoid a lot of the draft coming in and out. This is a real cool thing to try to do. Other one, if you have wooden windows and they are a bit old and you see a little bit of holes and a little bit of cracks here and there, use caulking really around the window. It's really, really efficient and it's gonna help you a lot. I leave link down below to This Old House, which is a TV show in the US with a lot of resources, so you'll know how to do caulking properly if you are not a very manual person like I am. Another one, good one, are thermal curtains. So curtains that help keep the warmth inside and the cold out. So that could be a very good idea as well to help. And finally, this is not very nice or aesthetically pleasant, but bubble wrap is recommended as keeping the warmth in and the cold out. You missed a bit of water on the window, you put the bubble wrap, a sheet of bubble wrap, and supposedly it holds very well and helps you a lot. If it's a window you're not using a lot, that could be a good tip to try out. Continuing, doors. Of course, the door, you know your door at the bottom, there's always a little bit of gap, your entrance door or any other door, and that's gonna let the cool air in and the warm air out. So again, weather stripping a door, putting a door sweep would be a great idea to finish that. It seems that a small gap under a door would be the equivalent of keeping a window open, according again to this whole house, link below. So you should make sure to have something there. You can have a draft stopper at the bottom of a door. You probably have seen those before. They can be made of fabric, made of plastic material. That would be really good to isolate a little bit. If your door is a bit old and made of wood, again, caulking could be helping if you have any holes or if it's getting a bit old. You can do that to your bedroom as well, right? To keep a bit of warmth inside, but be careful there because you still want some air in and out when you are sleeping to avoid carbon monoxide poisoning. So you need carbon monoxide detector. I hope you have one in your bedroom, and it's very important for your kids' bedroom if you have kids at home, especially infant. This is very important. This could be very dangerous. So please be crazy. Talk to your pediatrician if you should put a draft stopper underneath. Make sure you have carbon monoxide detector in your room. Other isolation you can think about. Your power plugs can also let the air in and out if they are not well adjusted. There's something you want to check. Some rooms you don't use so much, maybe they should be isolated as well. If you live in a house and you have an attic, is the attic well insulated? Is the door well insulated? Do you have a draft stopper at the bottom of the door for the attic? All these little things that you have to think about to try to limit the warm air going out and the cold air coming in. Little things. And of course, you have to let the sunshine in. So when it's a nice winter day, sunshine, don't hesitate to open the curtain and let the sun warm up your house. Even a few degrees, it's going to work behind a window. And being behind a window in winter is a really nice sensation. It's usually the warmest place in the... Now, let's talk about clothing. One thing that's really important in winter is to bundle and unbundle. By that, it means having several layers that you can put on and take off depending where you are. If you go outside, you want to be covered. Once you come back inside, indoor, you want to take off. When you arrive at home, you take off your shoes, you come back. One thing we don't think about is our feet. If our feet are cold, our body is cold. So you arrive home, you take off your shoes. One thing is feet sweat. I know, it's a bit disgusting to talk about that, but that's something we don't think about, and that makes your feet cold. Change your socks. Get warm socks when you get home. And maybe you need another pair of socks, kind of winter socks to put on top if you're staying home for a long time. When I work at home, here, that's what I do. I have a second pair of wool socks to put on top. They act like slippers if you don't want a second pair of socks. Use slippers. It may not be your thing. Maybe you want to think about other shoes, but warm wool one for indoor only are gonna keep you really, really warm. Keeping warm at night. Sounds stupid, but seriously, who wants to be cold while sleeping? And when you are in your bed sleeping, you don't need to warm the whole house, right? So it's a time to lower the heater or switch up the heater in most part of the house because you're not there while you're sleeping. Things to consider. Blankets and duvet. Have winter blankets and duvet. This is going to change completely and make you feel even warmer. Then, do you have winter pajamas and sleepwear? I know, it sounds stupid on a channel like this one, but this is a good investment too. Keep the heater at a normal temperature in your bedroom or switch it off if you prefer, but to have your bed warm, we can use this old tip, the hot water bottle. Yep, this old grandma tip of hot water bottle. I rediscovered it a few years back when I arrived in Japan. It's called yutampo in Japanese, bouillotte in French. Can be made of different materials. Nowadays you find mostly plastic, but it can be any different things. And basically the way it works is you put hot water in this bottle, you close it, you put it into a cover or in a wrap towel, and you put it in your bed to warm it, and voila. The way we do it, I show you now on screen. 10 minutes minimum before you go to bed. We usually do 1 hour here. Is you put it in the middle of the bed to warm the whole bed. Then when you go to bed, it's time to go to bed, you pull it at the bottom of the bed so it doesn't reach your feet or just the tip of your feet, and you have a warm bed up until the morning. Two things to note, two issues of precautions. It can leak. This is water in there, right? So don't cheap out. Buy nice stuff that's going to last you for a long time. Second thing, risks of burnt. Of course, this is hot water, right? So make sure there's a cover around. Usually it's made of fabric, or you wrap a towel around, and you make sure that you can't reach it once you're in the bed, especially if you're giving some to your kids. And what temperature for the water? So here's a chart I found on this French website that gives you the type of temperature depending on the age. As you can see, there is nothing for under 3 years old, so please ask your pediatrician if it's okay. If you have an infant, really good recommendation. I really like this one. Let's move to the kitchen. You often need to boil water. It can be in a kettle, but not always. If you need to cook, or for a variety of reasons, you're gonna use a saucepan. And it takes time to boil 1 liter of water. Look at the screen. Depending what you're using, it takes 6 to 12 minutes. And this time is when you're using a lot of energy, and energy costs you money. There's a link down below to a research paper from a science fair that shows that if you put a lid, as you can see now on screen, on your saucepan, you're gonna take 25% less time to boil water. 25% less time is 25% less energy used. That's a good tip to save money. So don't forget the lid on the saucepan next time you boil water. Let's continue. As we are in the kitchen, it's winter. You're probably using a lot of different utensils in the kitchen, and you are cooking stews, you're cooking soups. Those cook for a long time. They may take a bit of energy, but you need to eat, right? And they warm up the space for long hours. Use this energy to warm yourself. Stay around the kitchen, stay close to the kitchen if you need to work, if you need to do activities. This is a great way to keep warm as well. And finally, you need to be active. You can't just stay on the sofa and be cold. Don't forget, if there's a nice day, go out, bundle up, as we said earlier, with clothes, and you can take them off when you go back home. But getting outside and having the difference between the outdoors and the indoors can make a big difference on how warm you feel and how much energy you're going to use as a result. Energy prices are up, and they're going to remain very high until at least spring 2023. The government are trying to help, but what they're going to do is going to be limited in terms of effects on our wallets. You who are watching, and my wallet as well. So we need to do everything we can to try to reduce our energy by being smart. And I hope the few tips I just gave you are going to help you out. Try them out. Tell us if they work by commenting below. Give us new ones if we have forgotten or some we don't know. That's going to help everybody, and we definitely need to help each other this time around. That's all I had for you today. I hope you liked the content and it was useful. If so, please give it a like, and do not hesitate to subscribe for upcoming videos. Anything we've missed, any content you would like to see, please leave a comment down below. Thank you again, and until next time, bye.